Evening. There we are. I think we're live. Just knock the camera on my way past. Put that back there somewhere. There we are. It's a bit better. Sorry about that. I realised I'd got a green t-shirt on. Green t-shirt with green screen. Doesn't really work. I look like the Invisible Man because I'd all disappeared. Anyway, not to worry. Evening all. Hope we're all okay. If we're working as usual, give us a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. I think the volume looks like it's okay from my end. So that's good. Let's see if we've got Evening Stevie, Peter, the other Peter, and David, and whoever else is on. Good evening all. Hope we're all well. Had a jolly New Year's Day, etc. I've just about recovered from the mammoth 3.5 hours or whatever it was we did the other night. It was quite good fun actually, I quite liked it. Apologies for the dreadful excuse of fireworks that the BBC did. I didn't realise it was going to be that shit and woke bollocks. So hence it's now deleted out of the video. And if I do a New Year's Eve next year, I shan't be using BBC fireworks. I'll do my own first. We don't need to have all that political crap rammed down our throats, I'm sure. Anyway, I shall not rant. Yes, so here we are, 2022, marvellous. What have I got to tell you tonight? I don't know really. It's just because it was the usual Sunday, so I thought I'd best come on and say hello to everybody who didn't catch us on New Year's Eve because you were probably busy out drinking and doing New Year's Eve things. My light's not very good tonight either. Sorry about that. Never mind. Yeah, so if you haven't tuned into the website for a few days, there's just started putting stuff up again in the past couple of days. For sale. Start with a load of coins, which I put up a few days ago, and lots of new spares. These are spares that haven't been around before. These are all fresh in, as it were. So have a check through there, see if there's anything you need for your projects. There's some more stuff to go on as well. Quite a few more Jennings bits and Mills bits. I think some Watling bits. There's a Governor back door. Some paste back doors, there's some award cards for early Mills and FOKs and things like that. So yeah, still quite another probably, I don't know, 40, 50 lots of spares to put on, something like that. I'll try and get sorted out over the next few days. A lot of them are not labelled up, I've just literally got big boxes of bits, so I've got to figure out what they all are and try and remember what comes off what machine. So they'll probably go on in dribs and drabs as I think, oh yeah, I know what that is, that's a Stitch and Stitch. Either that or just end up being listed as part, and you have to decide for yourselves what it is. Anyway, and then this week as well, I'll start putting machines back up again. I think there's about half a dozen here from before Christmas to go on. Ones that didn't go before, so we'll relist those, and then see what comes in next week. I'm going to be over at the Elephant House, planned at the minute for 11th of Tuesday the 11th. So not this Tuesday, next Tuesday. So if you've got anything to drop in to sell, or if you've got anything here that you've bought and want to collect, and Leamington's easier, let me know. It's 99.9% certain, but as always, just check beforehand. I will sort a suitable time out, just in case something crops up. Otherwise, I'm here for the next few days in Cambridge. If you want to come up here and collect stuff, or drop stuff off again, whatever, you're more than welcome. I should be around pretty much all week, I think. In and out a little bit, but basically around. I've got a few jobs to do. They're pretty flexible, so I can sort of work around you pretty much. So if you fancy a trip out before you're back to work or whatever, then again, just get in touch and we'll sort a suitable time out. I also put on the on the back of I was going to say Sunday night, but New Year's Eve, whatever night that was, Friday night, wasn't it? Some more archivey stuff up. So if you go on the old cup of tea page, some flyers I'd got scans of. I put those up as well on the appropriate pages. Made some new pages where we needed them. There's some quite interesting stuff actually. all these years I never actually knew who made the screwball, and there's a flyer for, apparently it's Crompton's screwball. So there you go, you learn something every day, don't you? I've sold a few of them over the years, but I've never had one with a name on to actually know for sure who actually made it. So there you go, that was quite a revelation. What else do we have? A street shooter I've not seen before, but always kind of 60s stuff which people are liking at the minute. So I thought you might want to see that one. Over a mini match. Jameson mini match, that's quite a nice one. Be good to find all the other ones. Various shooters, basketball champ, some pinballs and things, bits and bobs. And yeah, the Crompton's machine that Paul Mitchell sent us in. The Wheeler Win, which I have the flag for somewhere in my shed. So we're hoping to find a machine to reunite the flag with. That'd be good. A couple of pictures of Mutascopes, they're quite nice. This is West Pier in Brighton. Some cast iron scopes. Quite a good picture. And what was this one? Some more Mutascopes. I don't know where this was. Very high resolution picture, that one, but you know. There you go. Pete the Rabbit. Well, this look, there's exhibit supply. Kids just love Pete the Rabbit. He's cute, he's lifelike, he's ready for department stores, supermarkets, retail stores, variety stores, drugstores, etc. There you go. Ride Pete the Rabbit. Sounds like something you get from a certain kind of shop, doesn't it? Anyway, thought that might amuse you. Oh, the basketball machine as well. We were talking about Paul's basketball machine that's in the little video. And here's a flyer for that. Quite good. Air attack, yeah. Sparks and the jackpot sparks, etc. Right, that's what kind of comes in. David, evening. Steve Scruffy, but good evening. Best wishes for New Year, everyone. Thank you very much. Peter says, very interesting how rare this stuff is compared to the other ones. It is, yeah. It's very rare. I want a Wheeler Win. The scopes are upstairs in Clive's Palace Pier arcade. Do you know, I thought that looked a bit like the Palace Pier upstairs arcade from the windows on the front. Yeah, it could well be. And it's obviously, looking at the clothing, sort of early 80s probably. Difficult to date, but yeah, it probably is. That makes sense. I can't remember where the picture came from. I think someone sent it to me. Yeah, the Wheeler Win looks like a great machine, actually. So yeah, I have the flag off the top from the one that was in Marshall's arcade. It come in a box of bits of stuff I bought from there. So hopefully, I don't know of a machine anywhere, but somebody might find one. Evening Jim. What else did we find? Yeah, this, my German is not very good, but this Royal Roulette, which I'm sure the ones had Bergman written on them. I found an article which I think they were made by an H.R. Volbracht. And I've heard that name before in the past, so I don't know if Bergman's just sold them. But Bergman's did make machines as far as I know. I think Hanno, you get a lot of them as well, so I need someone who's good at reading German to translate that, and we might actually find out who definitely made these things. It's a bit like with English machines, like you get Rougher and Walker on a lot of machines, and Samson's on a lot of machines, and most of the time they didn't make them, they just sold them. They were just dealers. So it is nice to know actually who made them. But yeah, so yeah, I've been busy with that. So anybody else, if you've got any of this sort of stuff, old flyers, pictures, photos, anything like that, send them in as high resolution as you can. It is often the problem with these, and scanning images can be a real problem, because they come up with weird patterns on them. But we'll do our best to try and get as good as images as we can. To put your photographs up, just a couple of other photographs I found knocking about on the computer. The space, and another Brenco machine, heads and tails. So quite a nice simple thing. Oops, put a big picture up. You stick a penny in, whack the button, and it stops a spinning wheel, heads or tails. Heads you win, tails you lose. Pretty simple, isn't it? So yeah, so that's what I've been busy up to that. And yeah, had a bit of a day outside today, trying to do a bit of gardening and things, and make some shed space, and still not getting on very well with making shed space, but working on it. To find some space to get the fairground stuff organised a bit more. Peter says Harry Levy made the heads and tails. This one's got Brenco on it. So I'm assuming it's a Brenco machine. This Levy's made it, Brenco sold it. It'd be more like the other way around, I would have thought. Levy's would probably sold it and Brenco made it. I don't know. Oh, remade. Oh, right. Yeah, a lot of machines kind of got remade, didn't they? Reinvented over the years. As we get more and more on, especially a lot of this this kind of 60s stuff was reinvented ideas of often kind of like 30s pre-war machines, but kind of then remade into electronic ways somehow. So yeah, other things I uploaded lately, these are from a while ago now. But yeah, surprising how many different these rifle range type machines there are when you start looking. There's dozens and dozens of them, different ones. I'll gather them all up eventually. Chicago Coin made dozens themselves. They seem to have made several a year for late, sort of 60s to about 1980. They seem to be really popular. I've sold a few over the years. But, different shooters. People seem to like buying them, playing them. Evening, Laura. Yeah, so as I say, if you've got any of this sort of stuff, if you can, try and scan it, send me nice big high-res scans, or if you're coming over sometime, I bought a big A3 scanner, specifically so I can like scan whole pages in of newspapers and things. It does quite a nice scan, so we can always slap them on there and scan them while we're having a cup of tea or something. And we'll try and fill all the gaps up in the database. Marvellous. I don't know if any of you didn't see the thing I did about the prices the other night. I don't know if anyone here now who wasn't the other night, but it might have been. I couldn't get all the prices to work for some reason. Don't know why. But I did this little chart, which I thought was very interesting. So if you've seen the video, you'll have seen it. If you haven't, you won't. And it was just really going back over the prices. It's just machines. So the blue bars were numbers of machines we sold per year. Drop in 2017, 2018, because that's when we stopped for a while to re-roof the elephant house, and I nearly chopped my hand off and ended up in hospital and all the rest of it. And then Mum got ill and blah blah blah. That sort of picked up again in 2019. Then of course everything stopped again. But the more interesting thing is the average price, which is the red line over those years, continuing to go up. And the kind of sharp increase in 2019, which was all proper auction, obviously, as it were, to last year as it is now, 2021, which is all online, the online sales. So it'll be interesting what 2022 does. And so one day, when I get around to it, I've got all the auction data going back 20 years in the other direction, all our own auctions and other people's auctions as well come to that. Obviously, we'll start off with all our own ones, back from 1990. So I can put all that on as well. It's just more difficult because it's not in easy computer format. It's all in paper, so I've got to sift through it all and type it all in. But it'll be interesting. So yes, although I'm not allowed to say, technically speaking, slot machines are a good investment because I'm not a qualified financial advisor. Blah 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 blah. All I can do is point you to the facts. Over hundreds, thousands of machines were sold, and this is what's happening to the prices. Draw your own conclusions, as they say. So yeah, interesting stuff. What else do we look at? Anybody else the other night? We had a quick look at. People have asked since I'm going to do more of this. Several people sent pictures and things in to look at. Can I do more, please? Yes, absolutely. But of course, it will rely on people sending stuff in to look at. So more than happy to do that. These are some odd pictures here I fished out of my own box of photographs I was rummaging through for something of my own. I just thought there was some interesting bits that you don't see very often. None of them particularly good snaps. They were just snaps I took at the time, but they weren't really properly set up photographs. I try these days to take slightly better photographs of things. But there were just some stuff that you don't see so often and or isn't already on the website, so I thought they were interesting to look at. Did I find a flyer for that? Did I put it up? I haven't, no. I'll do that. The little big wheel pusher, etc. So yeah, if anyone's got anything interesting to look at, send it in and we'll have a look. Stevie says, when will the next lot of machines be listed? So this coming week, I will put on some stuff that's here that didn't sell before Christmas, rather. Some bits to relist. Nothing's come in the past week or so, obviously, because of Christmas, New Year, etc., etc. I know there's one machine to collect from Leamington next week when I'm there on the 11th. A nice high top. People have been looking for a high top for a while, haven't they? Let's go over to the wanted page. Let's put the website up on the screen. That would help, wouldn't it? Yeah, I think there's a few people. Well, one at the moment looking to buy a high top. But we haven't actually had one for a while. We had that kind of run of them back in the early summer last year. I haven't had any since, but I've still got people looking for them. So Yeah, so probably tomorrow or Tuesday, tomorrow probably, I'll get the bits relisted again. There's two, I think there's 2 or 3 of those electromechanical machines. I'm gonna have I'll have another little tweak with, because they were sort of just about working, but a bit iffy, just because they haven't been used for a long time. So I'll perhaps spend half an hour with a cup of tea and give them a wiggle and a jiggle and see if I can get them running a little bit better. It's like the Jupiter machine. When that arrived, it didn't run at all. It was just, again, stiff grease and things in the little bearings on the motors. So they should all work in theory, because they were all working. They were always thought to be used in an arcade that never happened. So we'll get those up again, and I think there was 2 Brians, wasn't there, from memory, and something else. So yeah, and then hopefully in the next sort of week or so, more stuff will start coming in. I know several people got stuff for sale. It's just a case of when it arrives. Obviously, as soon as it arrives, we can get it on the site. Peter says, does anybody know if Crompton's Beachcomber penny drop machine only came in the chipboard cabinets, or did some have ply or oak? Beachcomber. Crompton's. I don't understand it. I must change this. Another job to do is change this index so you can find Crompton's under C for Crompton's instead of under A for Alfred Crompton. Alfred Crompton. There we are. Was it Beachcomber you're looking for? Beachcomber, this one. Yeah, that was only some not particularly good image somebody sent us. Does anybody know if it came in chipboard cabinets, or did some have ply or oak? No idea. Personally, except the only image. I can't remember where that one came from. I think someone sent it in from off the internet somewhere. So I don't know. Paul might know. Stevie says, I have some machines to consign. I shall bring them in. Marvellous. I think you've got one here to collect as well, haven't you? From memory. So yeah, as I say, this coming week I'm about most days. Just give us a shout. Paul says the Wheeler Win would be a nice centrepiece in Peter's arcade. It would, wouldn't it? Oops. My pictures. Where are we? Wheeler Win. Does it say how big it is on that flyer? Might do, mightn't it? No, it doesn't. It's going to be Ferro lump. What's it? 6 foot across, probably 5 foot, 6 foot across. I like it with the chrome pole with the flag on. Yeah, just got to find one. Yeah. Mr. Tree, I assume they apply as heavy as hell. Yeah, what was the one we sold, the similar one a little while ago? The Crompton's thing. This one, penny drop. Yeah, very heavy. Good machine though. It's quite fun to play that. There's this one, Paul's Scoop. We sold a few years ago. Which I think did Paul buy that? I've had a penny drop and got Paul's Scoop. Oh yeah, I think Paul bought this one. If there's anyone in chipball that wondered, Paul says I've had a penny drop, got the Paul's Scoop. There's one online at auction at the moment, being relisted again as a silly estimate. Excellent. Well, so what are we selling for? The Paul's Scoop, look, we've got 540 in 2016. Penny Drop made 555, which we just sold, and it made 460 when we sold back in, was it the same one? I can't remember. I think it was the same one, back in 2019. So we seem to be making that kind of money. Have we sold any other? No, what was the other one Paul just mentioned? Penny Drop, got Paul's Scoop. Oh, Beachcomber. I think there's another one, isn't there, somebody said? Another different design. I'm not sure. Oh, they did 3 types. Oh, we've got all 3 listed in that case then. Paul's Scoop, Penny Drop and Beachcomber, yeah. The Wheeler wind's about 8 foot wide. Oh, excellent. It'd be even bigger than I thought. Seriously impressive piece of kit. He says, I have a phone book for it if the same one. Oh, well, I hope you buy it then. Get it bought. Sounds like it might be needing to make a cabinet for it. At least it's pretty straightforward. Unfortunately, you got, well, yeah, I think Paul's one, isn't it? You can go and copy, or the one which has had, as you see on the video, I think it's just plain, pretty plain cabinet, just straight sides all the way around. So yeah. Well, hopefully that'll be another one for the collection then. I haven't bought anything for ages. I was trying to think if I bought anything last year. I think the only thing I bought was the Chinese crystal gazer. That was all I bought last year. Can't remember offhand. I've got a picture of one of those up. Crystal gazer, which one is it? Chinese crystal gazer. I think I've got a picture on here of it. No. Yeah, I haven't bought much at all lately. The year before I bought a green ray. I think that was all I bought that year. Very bad, isn't it? I need to buy more stuff. Yes. Look at the wanted. I just put some wanted ads up on here myself for stuff I want to buy. See what we can find this year. Trouble is now most of the things I want to buy are sat in people's collections and they don't want to sell them. Either that or they just don't exist as far as I know. So it's yeah, the problem, you get to that point with collecting stuff. But you never know. You never know what's going to turn up, do we? It's the fun part about it all. Yeah, Big Allwins we're still looking for. What else? Nice Bandit. Some good money on the table here for good stuff. Like Roller Tour, Sentry, a Club Chief. Didn't know what to do too hard to find a Club Chief, but we've not managed to find one lately. A Gold Seal, Victoria B. Yeah. Still can't find a Swinging Swinger. Still haven't tracked down Twinkle Toes, which I'd really like to see. It's a very attractive looking machine. Well, this is another one like those kind of penny drop things, isn't it? It's Walk the Plank. Similar kind of idea. Had a cracked glass, unfortunately, that one when we sold it. It was clever. The pennies under the, you can just about see where the rows of pennies are. So they look under the planks with strips of perspex of metal where they were counterbalanced. So the pennies built up on the little planks and then just tipped, and pennies tumble down. Simple design. I'm surprised that's not been kind of copied since, really. It was really kind of simple penny drop things. Don't know, I guess they're just not sophisticated enough these days for people to want to play, or so people think. I still think they take money, personally. Interesting. Paul says most of the things he wants are long gone because of their size. Yeah. But is this what we're you know, rapidly discovering? Isn't all this much later stuff, which is kind of the stuff we all remember playing as kids, even if it's not necessarily the stuff that we collect. Like me, I collect 30s stuff, 20s and 30s stuff mainly. But the stuff obviously I remember playing is 60s and 70s stuff essentially. And that, it turns out, is an awful lot rarer than perhaps we all thought it was a few years ago. Because of its size, it's just got thrown away, or because of its that kind of early, that electromechanical era was relatively short before the actual electronic stuff came in proper. Was either just not very reliable, or too fiddly to fix, or whatever. Couldn't get the bits for it, etc. I suppose as well, it all, when the video games came in, everything else suddenly looked very old-fashioned, didn't it? You know, videos just took over completely. And arcades were just throwing everything out to get as many videos in as they could. And that, I suppose, is ultimately where the fate was sealed on a lot of this big stuff. When you got arcades, as we all know, fortunately, a lot of them, the Allwins, were literally just left them screwed on the walls and lined up Space Invaders in front of the Allwins. And hence a lot of Allwins survived. Also, they were small and you could took home by the operators for the kids to play with, or shoved in the arcade store or under the desk. We found all sorts of places. But they were small enough to be kept, and hence they survived. But all these big, interesting machines all went to the axe. As I vividly remember down in Canvey Island, the big building there, full of these massive machines, with literally no walking space between them at all. It was the building that was the Dodgem track. And they were crammed from the far corner to the doors, which were kind of almost on the opposite corner, as I remember it. It was just packed solid with machines. You had to climb over the top of them. So you were sort of walking 6 foot in the air on top of all these machines. And of course, right at the back corner was the most interesting stuff, sort of 50s, big arcade, 50s arcade machines. And yeah, the whole lot, as far as I know, just got demolished when the buildings got demolished. It's now a housing estate. We just couldn't get anything out because the stuff right by the doors did modern, you know, AWP crap basically that nobody wanted. Although, again, now. It was, I suppose, it was the older AWP stuff that again people are starting to collect. It's just the way time moves on, isn't it? But I do remember at the time and saying today, this people are going to want this stuff in a few years' time. These are probably the only ones of these machines left, and they probably were the only ones of those machines left. So there we go. If only. Jason says, I've got pictures of the inside of Cancer Casino, assuming Canby Casino. If so, excellent. Dig them out for us so we can have a look at them. Canby, yeah. It was a great place. It was a shame it got demolished because it was a really interesting place. Big ballroom, upstairs ballroom on top of the ballroom was on top of the arcade at the front, if I remember rightly. I had the glitter ball out of there, which I sold some years ago. Some deco lights and things. Decimalisation killed lots of the 60s machines. Yeah, that was the other thing, wasn't as well, wasn't it? That some of the machines just weren't easy to convert from the big old penny into them new little lightweight pennies. Not easy or economical to convert, and cheaper just to chuck them away. Mr. Treefrog's got an all-in from there. Excellent. I don't think I've got anything left from out there now. I had all sorts of bits and bobs, odd panels and signs, all the usual sort of stuff really you get from amusement parks. But I think it's all got sold over the years. Dave, so you've got 25 Jamiesons out of there. Excellent. If only we all had a bone dry empty barn 20 years ago. I know. If only I had a bone dry empty barn now, it'd be nice. Talk about like Jamiesons and stuff, those kind of war machines. I can remember them being left. You know, buying other stuff and leaving that kind of stuff in showman's yards because just at the time, basically, it wasn't worth moving. And we go with Dave McGladdery up to Thurston's yard in Norwich, at the top of Norwich there, when that was all cleared out, which went for housing again. Fascinating place. They put all the machines out of there and left the electromechanical stuff because nobody wanted it. Again, sort of Jamieson-y type stuff. Pete says a lot of the early electro machines, pushes, etc., are very generous to the customer compared to new pushes. Yeah. New ones are just terrible. I don't know why anybody plays them. This is his whole thing. I'm not the only person that says it. Just amusement arcades are just not amusing anymore. You know, they're either just lines of cranes that don't pay out prizes, lines of video games, which the kids have probably all got far better video games at home anyway that they play, so they don't bother to go, why go to the arcade and play something when you can sit in your bedroom and play something better. And AWPs designed to rip you off, and pushes that don't give anything out. It's just, where's the fun in any of it? The only fun you seem to get is sometimes, I think I said before, sometimes there's some quite good redemption machines around. They're quite fun to play. other than the fact that you need 10,000 tickets to get a lollipop or something, which is always really upsets the kids when they realise they can't get anything for all that hard work for the afternoon, getting all those tickets. But other than that, it's a shame. Paul says he's going to stop making pushes and start on a time machine, and that's a good idea. Yeah, we'll all go back with a big van each and fill it up. See what we can find. I'd like to go back to about 1930, please. Mid-30s, maybe. Is that great? I haven't got one here, have I? Somewhere. Picture on the is it the Bollons catalogue? I think it's on the front of the Bollons catalogue. I'll just scan that sometime. I'm sure you've all seen it, of their showrooms with all the BMCO machines lined up down both sides as far as you can see. And some of them we can't see what they are, and it's for me who collects them, really kind of interesting, exciting, and kind of frustrating at the same time. You can just see all these top flashes lined up in front of each other, so you can't read what they are. You just wonder, what were all those machines? Because just about everyone that I know of existing, I either own or know, I've seen it or know of it, if you see what I mean. And I think they're not those, I think they're different ones. So whether their machine's still out there somewhere waiting to be discovered, or they just don't exist anymore, who knows? But yeah, I think that's when I'd go back in my time machine. It'd be mid-1930s. I'm guessing Paul would plump for about 1965 or something. Yeah, it'd be good fun, wouldn't it? But it says, interesting, the very large 60s, 70s machines are still cheap due to their size and weight. Possible not fit through many house doors to put in the living room. No. That is the thing with them, isn't it? She's got a bit of time delay on the video again tonight. I don't know if my internet connection's slow or what. Anyway, never mind. Yeah, if you can find them when they do turn up, I suppose. They don't appeal to that many people. Well, they probably do appeal, but as you say, it's a limited appeal of who can physically fit them in their house or whatever. Paul said the late 60s arcades were brilliant. I think they were just some really good games to play. They're just good, fun machines, inventive machines. So a lot of them, when you start realising they're actually kind of, the ideas often are copies of earlier machines, but with the perhaps improvement of some added flashing lights and a few ding bells and bits and bobs. And you know, big flashy graphics, big light up perspex signs and things. But yeah, it's just good fun stuff to play. Whereas what would you keep now? I mean, if you go in a modern arcade now, what stuff could you see being collectible in 30 or 40 years time out of the stuff that's in the arcades now? Don't know. I guess maybe some of it, if it's if it's like a for one of the big film franchises, if it's a Batman slot machine or something like that, I guess that's going to have some value in the future. But they're just, you know, the run-of-the-mill fruit machines. Who's going to want those? Don't know. Maybe somebody will. What should we be keeping from now? This is the question, isn't it? If you go down your local arcade and look in the skip, as it were, I know it quite doesn't work like that, but you know what I mean. What stuff would you keep? Not sure I'd want to keep anything. Paul says, always came out with more money than I went in with. That's the way to do it. It says the Whittaker machines, Wheeler Winner, Greedy Gobs, Roulettes. Whack-a-moles. Yeah. Not so much as unlikely to be as repairable. That is the other problem with them, isn't it? When they're all chips on boards. This is it, like Peter says, you know, okay, yeah, there's a few machines there, but that literally is about all the vaguely interesting machines there are. Those, you know, just a handful of stuff, isn't there, really? Look at those. What did I do with that picture of Corrigan's? Here, isn't it? That one. With a big Penny Lanes pusher and the collar armour. A spinner winner. And something behind that man in the middle that we can't make out what it is. But we need more arcade photos. There's a couple of good American ones that pop up quite often, isn't there? With there's one with a very deep arcade with lines of clamshell mutoscopes as far as you can see. It must be 30 or 40 of them or something in a line down one side. Just a great picture, really. Even Whittakers are run on chips. So this is the thing, they run things on chips when they don't really need to be run on chips. It's only just to sort of make them mean, basically. Because self-evidently, none of the old pushers run on chips. The only reason I put chips in is to make them mean, as far as I can see. Plenty of photos on the National Fairground Archive digital site. You haven't had a good time to look at that yet. I'll have to see if we can use some of them. I want to see if they've got any film as well. Hopefully they might have got a little bits of film of around the fairgrounds. They all seem to have lots of clocks. Yeah, ubiquitous Brian's clocks that never took any money. Or sorry, never made any money. I'm sure they took plenty. But I never managed to get any of them to take money in the arcades. And I've never known an operator say they've managed to make money out of a clock either. Pete says the 80s stuff, JPM bar crests I used to fix seem to be getting popular, but processors have almost all failed. Yeah, and then what's going to happen is somebody, you know, is it worth somebody trying to build a box to replace the processor box in them? Those, what, the MPU falls or whatever they're called. I suppose you could, I don't know, somebody could maybe program some kind of interface like they did with the video games. But I can't see them being popular enough to warrant anybody doing it, really. Paul says, love the Penny Lanes machine in the photo. Yeah, good, isn't it? There's a good photo from who sent that in, Peter. Yeah, if you've got have you got the actual photographic print of that, and you get a real high zoom in on it. With either a macro lens camera or on a powerful scanner like this one here, right into that penny lane. The beauty with old photographs is often they were taken on quite big negatives, and they're actually a lot of detail in them. You can really zoom in on them. But you do need the original photograph to do that from, rather than you know, look at sort of a later digital copy. Because once they're pixelated, they're pixels to pixels. You can't do much with them. Scruffy out, the Texas 9980 CPUs in the old JPMs were terrible for dying. MPU 3 for bar grass can be repaired. Yes, electronics I don't really do or understand. Which is totally agree. I've had 5+ clocks and a total waste of time to operate. Yeah, I tried 6-wing clock, 12-wing clocks, clock with jackpot, a clock tower. We had it up at Botany Bay. An impressive thing, a clock tower, great looking piece of kit. Didn't take any money. I had one on my travelling arcade I gave up with, except just didn't. People played it, but there was, you know, you'd sit there the whole day on a fate somewhere being played, and you'd empty the cash box at the end, and there'd be like 5 pennies in it or something. It was just nuts. And a simple little thing like my little I had found a picture of it, my little rolling road thing. This, oops, gone past it. This little rolling road machine, which was mine, which I sold and which I hadn't done. Well, I swapped it actually. It was a very complicated swap deal. But that used to be on my little arcade. As you can see from the little sticker that's stuck on it. Simple thing, but it took loads of money. Just an attractive little thing. And that would be, oh, I don't know, there might be 100 coins in that or more in an afternoon. There'd be 5 in the clock. Mad. It says Barcrest MPU 234s and JPM System 80. Wonder if anyone saved a test rig. I guess there might be 1 or 2 floating about in the back of old, you know, of operators, perhaps bigger operators who had their own workshops. Might just got sort of shoved under the benches at the back of the workshop type thing. But the pinball test rigs, they're very sought after, I understand. It says, was the Horton bunny shoot with the one John and I fought over by any chance, or another one? Bunny shooter. I can't honestly remember that one. I'll find the photograph of it again now. Here somewhere. That one. Let's see if there's anything on the actual photograph itself. It doesn't. No, I don't know where the photograph came from. I don't think that one's a car, as merely because there's a Space Invaders in the picture. And an Easy Push Mark II right at the back behind the Space Invaders. You can't quite see just because the scan cropped it off. But I can just see the edge of an Easy Push Mark II on the actual photograph. Yeah, I can't remember where it was. Used to have both rigs. Nobody wanted them. Yeah, the bunny shot. I don't know. There was one. I don't think this is John's one. I think this is another one. And there's one John had which must have went in one of his auctions. Did I sell it? I can't remember. Might have done. And there's one I didn't. I remember seeing one many, many years ago. Before I could drive. When I buy stuff, because Mum took me in a van at the time down, and that was down Southend somewhere. Dave Geeson might remember, because when Dave did down that way, it wasn't Dave's, it was somebody else's. I went down there, bought a Bandit or Allwyn or something off a chap that he had a bunny shooter, but didn't want to sell it. So there's, I don't know, there's 2 or 3 around that I know of. Don't know where any are at the moment. Cousin said nothing left, unfortunately. Oh, on the JPM, etc. Yeah, used to have the manuals for most of the Aegis machines. You're looking for years. I've got 4 dead boards and no schematics. I definitely can't help. The electronics is totally beyond me, really. Electrics, I can just about cope with. Is sort of a few relays and a cam switch and that kind of stuff, and motors. But when it gets into proper electronics, that's beyond my capabilities. Even when I operated the modern stuff up at the pier, that was I didn't really know how any of it worked. I didn't really know how to play the Bandits, all those sort of Barcrest stuff we had. I had a load of Barcrest machines. And the conversion, was it Vivid Games or Vivid? Seems to string in Red, I think, Red Gaming or something like that. All based on Barcrest architecture. So I had them all the same, so they were, at least I could just swap bits out of them if necessary. Well, they're pretty reliable from memory. Well, I had no idea how to play them. The kids used to know how to play them. I just took the money out of them. But even there, when I think the modern arcade, I tried to have, we had sort of had half AWPs and half more interesting machines, or tried to have more interesting machines. So we always had a pinball off a local guy who had some pins. We just put all in on shares and he looked after it, so that worked well. A couple of pushers, crane, video, or sort of a video usually, some description, some zombie shooting thing or something. What else do we have? A couple of novelty type things. I don't know what they were called. Just trying to find interesting things to make the arcade a bit more interesting. It worked quite well in Colwyn because the only other arcade was one in town, but that was adults only, on all just gaming machines, obviously. So all the kids were frustrated they couldn't go in there, so they all came down on the pier. I played mine instead, so that worked quite well. It says, guy who used to fix ours went to Sound Leisure, Sean Horner. He was brilliant. Don't know if he's still there though. He's only a young lad, so should still be around. Yeah. I haven't spoken to anybody at Sound Leisure for years. When I used to do the magazine, I used to speak to him, bump into Chris Black every now and again at the trade shows or whatever. Usually we used to advertise in the magazine. just, I don't think they got any business out of it, just as a, you know, sort of a gesture of support, really, I suppose, but as much as anything. They did a few interesting bits, didn't they? Did they a version of the treasure cave we were talking about the other night. Have I sold any of those? Let's have a look. Vending machines, animated vending machines. Yes, let's put this back on again. Yeah, so we're talking about these sort of treasure cave type machines. And Sound Leisure came out with, I don't know if they built it or not, if they had it built for them, but it was a Sound Leisure machine. They did one. Same kind of thing. They did the Buzzy Bees. That was quite a good machine. Had one of those on the arcade pier for a while. A few other interesting bits. Have I got anything else that they made? Just jukeboxes. But yeah, they came up with a few interesting sort of novelty machines. Scruffy, I believe the Red games had a fairly good following amongst more recent machines. Yeah, they operated really well, the Red gaming games, I discovered. So I didn't know anything about them. What, oh, it's Cambridge Railway Station's on the telly, just noticed in the background. I was doing with them, so I just didn't understand them, had to play them even. But the Red gaming ones did take more money than the standard Barcrest machines. People seem to like them. Like the Sound Leisure Repro stuff, like the Shake Hands with Uncle Sam. Yeah, those, I think they come in from America. I don't think Sound Leisure made them. It was a company in America that made all those repro fortune tellery type things. I can't remember what the company's called. I don't even know if I've got it down here. Yeah, these type of things. Which are all produced in the States. But yeah, I think Sound Leisure might have been an agent for them over here. They made a repro Vendo Coke 44. They did, yeah. I sold or had for sale. I don't think we sold actually. We had a, I think it was the prototype cabinet or something they made. It was really well made. Now, was it the 44? It might be another one that never went into production. I'm not sure. It was all properly, you know, formed steel cabinet. But had no guts in it. But nice quality stuff. They do make good stuff. Sounders used to fix all our NSM boards until they stopped repairing them, took their remaining stuff to the tip. Oh dear. Pete's got my old one in Merivale. I want your Shake Hands with Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam's still working well. There you go. Have we had an Uncle Sam? Have I not got one on here? Shake Hands, Uncle Sam, Uncle Sam. Don't think I have. There you go. Another machine we're missing out of the. Oh, I've got it down as a different type. Card Renegades speaking spinning arrow. Might be down as a spinning arrow, mightn't it? It sort of spins. There we go. Uncle Sam. A dodgy photograph, that one, isn't it? Was that any better? Not really. There's Merlin, a similar kind of thing. Shakespeare Merlin. I did have somewhere a flyer for all those from the American company that was doing them, but I don't know what I've done with it. It'll be in my box of paperwork somewhere, hopefully. Hopefully it'll appear at some point. Yeah. The fortune tellers always do well. Even the kind of really those really naff chipboardy ones, the chipboard gypsies. These things. Which are just awful machines, but they take so much money. It's crazy. For a particularly horrible example, isn't that awful? Oh, Betsy, that was one that Carter had in his arcade. Hmm. This was a bit better one. A grandma. Oh, excuse me, knackered. Made good, 6,400 that one made. And sold that one. Peter, totally agree. My best earning machine ever. Yeah, the crappy gypsies. Yeah, absolutely. I think they were ours as well up at Botany Bay when we had the arcade there, and at Folly as well. Yeah, just take money. What's this one? Whose was that one? Can't remember where that one come from. Brian's postcard vendor cabinet. Madame Zandra. I don't remember selling that. 2016 sold that apparently. 1,450 quid on 50p play. Don't know. Can't remember selling that one. Bad, isn't it? Must be getting old. Why do fortune tellers do so well? I don't know. I don't know. You get a lot of if you watch the people, if you do a bit of people watching, if you're sitting in the arcade in the pay box, kind of, you get families and they kind of egg each other on to have a go, and if one has a go, the others will have a go as well. So that helps an awful lot. Because if mum's got their fortune, dad will want his fortune, granny will want his fortune, their fortune, and so on and so on. So you do get that kind of repeat custom. Brian's cabinet with the Cliff Mills inside. Yeah, it's definitely a Cliff Mills job, that one. This Madame Zandra. He made quite a few. Yeah, so I think that's probably part of it with the fortune tellers, is the kind of repeat trade thing of a family group or friends or whatever. They all, if one has a go, they'll all have a go. Used to do on my other than the Argyle cards, the thick ones, but on the machines that took the crisscross cards, like the crappy chipboard ones, etc. I used to print our own cards when we were operating and put lottery numbers on them. That was a good wheeze. So we'd have I wrote all the fortunes and they'd have lucky colour or whatever. Then we'd have your lucky, we didn't call national lottery numbers because of copyright and all that nonsense, but your lucky 6 numbers or something, which were 6 lottery numbers. And that, they took good money for that. So it's a good hot tip for anyone who's operating, put lottery numbers on the fortune cards. Because again, people say, oh look, I've got my lottery numbers here, and then their friend or family member or whatever will want to have a go as well to get their lottery numbers. So as long as you remember to mix your cards up properly so they don't all get the same cards. It was great, it took money. But even the kind of the simple ones, they're just the spinning arrow type things. Again, my experience operating was them, these just simple stuff. Is there anyone here that were actually mine that I operated? I don't think any of these were in particular, but these sort of, some nice machine, but just simple ideas. Spinning arrow or one just pops up yes or no. But these sort of things, spinning arrow type things. I did one with spinning lights on it down in Folly Farm. That did remarkably well. I think I had a spare cabinet. I don't know, it was an old Allwyn cabinet or something. And I got it at the time in the good old days of Maplin Electronics. They did a little kit, a board, which was one of their little electronic kits. Flashed a ring of LEDs round, which was supposed to be roulette numbers, was the little game kit you bought. It was like 15 quid or something as kit of parts. You soldered it all together. It was about 6 inches diameter, maybe, something like that. So I made a nice graphic to fit the Allwyn cabinet window with 37 or 38 or whatever there were, 36 numbers in the naught or double noughts, which took a bit of doing, and put fortunes in all the little things, and just a micro switch to set it off. Dead simple. You stuck your penny in, the lights flashed, and the nice thing with that circuit was that the lights flashed really, really quickly, then gradually slow down and slow down and slow down and come to a stop. So it was really effective. Again, silly little thing, an old Allwyn cabinet had knocking about 15 quid of Maplin bits and a few hours making up some graphics. And it just took loads and loads of money. Strange. Pete says the best wall mat machine is the Roger Gilman Passion Tester. Yeah, they're nice, aren't they? Have we got one of those on here? That's probably an unknown title. I need to make a flashy lights section, don't I? I've got one of those, which is sort of a copy of. Oh yeah, this one. Yeah, this is a really good, flashy looking thing. Yeah, Roger made a very nice job of those. They use aircraft instrument panel light bulbs in them, I remember him telling me. Just sort of like last forever. Yeah, I'm not sure how many he made. He's very cagey, so won't release any details, which is a bit annoying. How many things he made, but hey ho. Made a few of them. That one we sold back in 2016 at £400. Was that one? I don't know if that's one Peter bought or not. If it's another one, don't know who bought that one. But kind of a short version, you know, a tabletop version of those big of these things. Exactly the same idea, basically. A squeezy handle and a row of lights that flash up and down. Again, it's funny that simple idea is just takes loads of money. This thing did quite well as well. This was, well, not this one because it's too late, but I had one of these up in Botley or Folly or somewhere on site. Actually, we had one of these in the pub as well. It did phenomenal money in the pub. And after we stopped doing the pubs because the pub chain was sold, and we lost all the sites, unfortunately. It went to either Botley Bay or Folly Farm, one of the big arcades. I converted it onto Penny, so it's definitely not the one I had because it's on 20p. But same idea, just flashy lights. Just took money. But I think again, when it was in the pubs in particular, it was that whole thing of if somebody had to go on it in the pub, then all their mates had to go on it as well. And of course, especially when people have had a pint or two, and it was very funny to see how sexy you were in this case. Yeah. If you want to take money, sometimes the simple ideas are the best. Peter's got two, one on each side. I could not part with them. Put one off the Isle of Wight and another one privately. Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. I've put down bottle fortune teller, ugly exclamation mark. Oh God, it was a bit, wasn't it? Yeah, I remember that one. Don't know who made that. I described it as fortune teller, possibly the ugliest fortune teller ever made, which probably didn't help the price it made, £60. But that was pretty horrible, wasn't it? Look at that. Where did that come from? John might have been out of John Morley's shed, I think, from memory. Not sure. I don't know what you could do with it to make it look nice, really. Put it in a skip. Probably look nicer in a skip. That's when you look at things like that and think, you know, somebody somewhere in a manufacturing company either designed that or had it designed for them and thought it was nice enough to put into production. Crazy, isn't it? Somebody thought, oh yeah, we'll make those, they'll sell. Very odd. What a horrible machine. Interesting ones will be sold. What was that double one? Oh yeah, I think Peter, did you buy this one? I think you did. Can't remember. double love meter than anyone I've ever seen. So it's quite an interesting one. But it says, hopefully back in his shed at the back. Yeah, that ugly fortune teller. Hopefully it is back in the shed somewhere. But he said, yes, and I sold it for you. Oh, right, this one here, yeah. Thought we had something to do with it somewhere along the line. Yeah. That's quite fun being a double one. Nervograph. I'd like one of those. It's just the front panel off it. I don't think it's sold. I think it came into an auction, didn't sell. A Nervograph. If anybody's got a Nervograph, I'd like to buy one. What ones have we got? Card vending. Any different ones we haven't seen? While we're on the subject of fortune tellers. This is a fun one. I've got, that's my one. Very good picture. But the there's a big floor standing thing. This panel in the middle of the front here. When you put your penny in, it lifts up a bit like a sandwich toasting machine. You stick your hand in it, and the thing comes down and kind of clamps your hand in it, and there's lights underneath that flash and do things. And this line of lights along here sort of flash backwards and forwards like this, scanning you, and then spits out a card. So quite a dramatic thing, really, bit of nonsense. Quite fun. Two of those known, and they're both in my shed. Unless anybody else has got one. Other than that, as far as I know, there's only two of them. Yeah. Spinning over the speaking ones. Well, the Teddy Fortune, they're good, aren't they? I've ever seen these. These are quite a fun machine. Look at that, two for £100. How's that for a bargain? Two Teddy Fortune machines for £100. What a deal that was. If you've not seen one of these, it has a record player inside. And you put your penny in, pick the telephone up, pick a nice old Bakelite telephone, and you hear your fortune down the end of the phone. And they were recorded by some professor at Cambridge University, I think. Yeah, I think you just about see it on the graphics there. Can't quite read it. Christ College, Cambridge, Master of Arts. About your health, money, and love, etc. Yeah, they come in a thinner version as well. This is the wide cabinet version. So that was a bit of a good buy. Don't know who ever bought them. And it even had 2 original records with them. There you go. Eric, I'd like an Eric. Pete says, I can remember a palmistry machine you placed your hands on the 60s and 70s. Yeah, there's various versions. The 60s one, I thought I found a photograph of one, which I thought I'd scanned in the other night, and I haven't, but I will do. It's in this little heap of photographs somewhere. I must have missed it off the scan. A Brenco one. called Brennerbs, Brenner backwards, Brennerbs Human Analyst. There's another one we had on site. I don't know what we did with it. Must have sold it. If I hold it up to the camera, it probably won't focus very well, but let me try. I'm going to lose the light, I think. I'll have to scan it in properly, but yeah. You set your zodiac on a dial, put your hand on a plate, press the button, and I think it will flash lights or a big disc spun in the background or something. What does it say on there? Press the pulsar button. Set zodiac disc to your sign and date. God, the type on this is so small. Hopefully I can, when I scan it, I can enhance it to read what it says on the photograph. Electronically forecast something or other. We had another big thing as well, a computerized, I think that might have been another, was that another brand? I can't remember who it was. Huge, big floor standing thing. Kind of perspex light up, and it was kind of like a fake computer thing. Flashing lights, did it have, I think it might have had tape disc things on it. And you put your hand into it. And you read your hand supposedly by electronic photographic-y something or other, just spat a card out. But that was quite an impressive thing. We had that in the Bygone Times arcade. Yeah. Sold it. That must have went to Clive when we sold those machines to Clive when he took over. So I don't know where that one went. It might be in Clive's shed, or he might have thrown it away. Yeah, Professor Rennerb's Human Analyst. It's another one. I'll scan these properly and put them up on the site. And the Pharaohs as well is in my pictures here somewhere. Rotor spin. The Pharaohs, this one was taken in Cliff Mills garage many years ago. But you set there's a knob between the A and the R on the bottom panel. You can probably just see above them there's a knob. You turn the knob round and it sets a question in the background between the two sarcophagus things. Put your penny in and then your questions answered. I can't remember. I can't remember if the sarcophagus is open, like yes, no, or if I think there might be the pillars at the front turn round. I think that's what it is, and have yes or no written on them or something like that. It's animated in some way or other. Yeah, nice thing. I wouldn't mind owning one of those. There used to be a couple up at Blackpool. I don't know where those ones went when all the Blackpool stuff got sold. There's a few of them around somewhere. So I wouldn't mind tracking one of those down. And then of course the palmistry, like the Ahrens type palmistries. This one. And nice machines, and you put your hand on there, and it there's like little pins that come up and kind of feel your palm. It's quite a weird sensation. So it's very effective. And there's a kind of a later version. This is very. It looks a bit like a 1930s cinema or organ console, kind of curved, kind of Odin light up pillars down it. Which I've got one. Well, I've got both versions. I've got this one and one of those as well, which I thought was a conversion, the later light up kind of thing. But I've since seen at least another one, if not two, So there's obviously more than one made. I don't know if Arbanus did them as an official conversion, or it was just, or if they were made like that. I have to find a picture of that and put it up. Oh, Sydney Nose. Sydney Nose is a nice machine. Another card giver. A really good figure and loads of movement in his face. It's like a vent doll. But yeah, his eyes move, eyebrows move, mouth moves. Quite a rare thing. 2017 we sold that one, 2,350. Yeah. Not too many of those around. Pit says all the Blackpool machines have long gone. Yeah, I don't know where half of them are. They've sort of just seem to have disappeared into the ether. They're obviously around somewhere. So yeah, lots of fortune tellers. Why have I got this one down twice? I don't know. Just noticed that. Look. Matrimonial Bureau. And Matrimonial Bureau. It's interesting. Matrimonial Bureau, Bonds Bureau. Maybe there's just 2 or 3 versions of them. A little thing to correct when I get around to it. Lots of hair I need pictures of. Yeah, there you go. Do we have any other pictures the other night that were... I can't remember. Would help if I got the right screen up, wasn't it? What I was looking at. Duh. Did I just not show you the machine I was showing you? Sydney Nose. I don't think I did, did I? I can't get the right screen up. I've got so many screens on the go. This is what I was looking at. Sydney Nose. The animated. Really animated figures. His eyebrows move. His eyes move. His mouth moves. Something else. I think it's got about 4 movements in it. Camshaft there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Quite a nice machine. What was the other thing I was looking at? Don't know. Sorry, I forgot I was on the wrong screen. Anyway, not to worry. They're all there if you want to go look at them. Yeah, good grief, look, it's 20 to 10. Didn't realise what the time was. How many people are still a few people watching. Anybody got any questions, comments, anything they need to know, let me know. Or if not, we ought to wrap things up, or we'll be here all night again. Not that I mind particularly, but I'm sure you will get bored of me after a while. So yeah, this next week I'll get some machines up again, and then hopefully there'll be some more stuff in soon. I think Stevie said he'd got some stuff to bring in earlier on. I'll say I know there's a high top coming in next week. There's still a batch of unrestored stuff to come in. I must chase that up, see if there's chaps around. Jim Weatherspoon, good tip about the roulette LED kit. Yeah, they were those Velleman kits, weren't they? They were called. Because they were French, and Maplin just sold them, or Belgian or something like the Velleman, Velleman. So whether you can still get those kits or not, I'm not sure. But yeah, it was very effective. Peter says, great night talking slots. Thank you. Over and out. Nighty night. Jim said, spotted they still sell them on Amazon. Oh, well, there you go then. I've probably got a photograph of that somewhere down at Folly Farm, I expect. If I look for the photographs, I'll get to them. I don't think I'll have the artwork file anymore because it had been on one of my old computers that died years ago, unfortunately. David said, did you get the pinball and fair pictures I emailed? Yes, I think I have. I just haven't had time to download them. And let me make sure I've got all of them while you're online. Find my emails. Bum, 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 ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Pins. Yeah, I've got 4 emails of pinballs. And Fairground, yep. So yeah, so we'll look at them next time. I'll get them downloaded and uploaded for have a look at. Thank you very much. Anything else interesting you find? Oops. Send them over to me. What else have you got here? Some flyers from Peter to look at. Oh, something from Jim as well while we're on. What's this say? News of Daily Scan. Tommy's Arcade Sheringham. Oh, excellent. Oh, they're good photographs. Thank you. I'll get them up for next. I'll sort it out for next Sunday as well. Ah, very good. Excellent. Love photographs like that. So I think I'll do a. I know a few people have got sort of 1 or 2 interesting pictures of arcades. It might be interesting to try and do a paid sort of, so they can be accumulated per arcade. Try to get the right words out. You know what I mean? So a certain arcade, and if anybody's got any pictures of it, we can add them to that. You can perhaps chart the pictures over the years. I remember years and years ago, I went down on the south coast and bought some machines. I bought a merchandiser, and then lost the top of it coming along the road. It was on a trailer. That's another story for another night. Anyway, the arcade was. Where was it? It was along from Hastings, somewhere, one of the kind of the little seaside towns. Not, it was one of those sort of tiny little places that only had one arcade. And I was talking to the chap there. I spent a couple of hours there with a cup of tea with the chap. And the arcade had been there for years, and he got some really good photographs back from the sort of World War II, the early 50s, and stuff on there. And I was like, oh yeah, I've got one of those machines, and I've got one of these, and I've got one of those. And yeah, I would love to have had the photographs, but of course they were family photographs he didn't want to part with. But, so stuff's out there. We just hopefully over time try and accumulate it and get it all in one place, so it's then recorded down as history. Really good stuff. Jim says made by Future Kit now, all the Velleman kits. Yeah, you'll have to get one and play with it. But see what I mean? If it's exactly the same kit, the way the lights work were really nice, because it started really fast and just slowed down, and then just stopped. So the same as a spinning arrow, as that slowing down effect. So it worked really nicely. David says, can send single shot pinball pictures of them if you want for the library. That would be good. Pinballs are really difficult things to take pictures of, as you've no doubt discovered. So obviously, if they're ones you've already got, then we'll just have the best that you've got. No problem at all. If they're ones, if you're going to take some, then yeah, it's always a job to know what kind of angle to take them on. It's sort of, sort of that sort of an angle somehow or other. So you can sort of see a bit of the playfield and a bit of the back. And then obviously if you can get straight onto the back flashes and straight on above somehow the playfield, which is always difficult to do. Better without the glass on the playfield, because then you don't get the reflection of the playfield glass reflecting your lights and things in it. So if you saw the antics I go to take photographs of machines sometimes for, when we're selling them, it's a tricky thing to do, it really is. But as I say, if anything we haven't got any pictures of, grateful for any image is better than no images, the way I look at it. And then hopefully over time, a lot of the images I've got, which is stuff I've got which you were taken years ago, are not necessarily particularly brilliant photographs, but at least there's something. And then over time, we can always improve, hopefully. And odd things like this, so that's, obviously was a machine in pretty bad state that needed restoring, so it'd be nice to get a picture of that, a restored one, so you can see what it should look like, kind of thing. If anybody's got one of those, and so on and so on, but at least we know what it looks like. Rome wasn't built in a day and all that. Jim says, just checked, and there is a Velleman one on eBay, twice the price of the FK. If it's the same thing, there's your answer. Somebody's probably copied them. Those Velleman kits used to be really handy. I used to use the little amplifier kits I put in my puppet machines and things that needed them. Little digital soundboard things they had when they were really hard to get from anywhere else. When digital sound was kind of quite new. And they only held about 15 seconds or something, but it was kind of enough for a machine usually, or you looped it round a couple of times. David said, just sold them all, so only got what I have. Well, what you have will be wonderful, I'm sure. But yeah, if they're digital, then email, or if they're actual proper photographs, either. If you haven't got a scanner, then next time I see you, if you give it to me, I can scan them and give them to you back, or post them to me or something, whatever. Yeah, it tends to be, well, look at my photographs, the older photographs are, the worse they are. Whether I've just got slightly better at taking photographs over the years, I don't know, but things that often time they were only took as just a quick reference for something, or it might be if somebody sent me a snap or something to sell it to me at the time or whatever. Let's see, we're going back 30 years or whatever, before digital cameras and everything else. So a lot of them are not particularly good photographs. They've either got part of the machine cut off, or there's something stood in front of them, or something. But it kind of doesn't matter. It's anything is better than nothing, as I say. Yeah. Yeah, so there we are. So we probably ought to wrap things up. We've been going for nearly 2 hours again. Not that I mind particularly, but I'm sure we've all got better things to do and want to go to bed. So yes, thank you for those who've sent some more bits and bobs in, pictures and things. I will get them prepped up for next Sunday. I might do something Tuesday, because Tuesday would normally have a results show, in inverted commas, but because we've got nothing selling this week, we'll perhaps do that Tuesday night if you want. Look for some more photographs. Yeah, we could do that. David says no, they're online. Well, that's handy then. Excellent. Yeah, so maybe Tuesday night we'll have a look at some more pictures. It's quite good, isn't it? Something. Scrub it over. Yeah, back in the days when you found out what kind of photo you had taken 3 weeks after taking it. Yeah, at least 3 months sometimes. There was that thing somehow trying to finish up your last few photographs to get your 36 photographs out of your film. I think now you take hundreds and there's thousands of photographs on your phone that you never ever look at again probably. Because half the time I don't even get around to deleting them. You take 10 photographs or something, don't you, to get one? Yeah, that looks about right. And I can't bother to delete them all, it takes too long. So I tend to, only when the phone gets full, have to go through it and pick out of 2,000 photographs, probably about 50 that I want to keep, and then just delete everything else off the phone, start again. But the trouble is, there's a lot of people who often comment, not just collectors of anything, family photographs and whatever. We now all, in the good old days when we used to take real photographs and get them printed out of Boots or wherever and stick them in our albums with the sticky pages or the little flip pages or whatever. Although we might have never looked at the photographs again, and I've got boxes of them here upstairs to go through, family photographs, and what the hell do you do with them all? You know, you've got to pick out some nice ones to keep and chuck the rest away probably. But at least we did keep those photographs. Now with them all on your phone or on your computer, they're there until your computer goes wrong, as happens to us all usually, or your phone goes wrong or whatever, and then all those photographs are gone. And so although we're taking more photographs than we ever took in the past, often they're not getting saved. Strange, isn't it? Strange. Unless things like this you upload into a site somewhere, or a, you know, whatever, some kind of archive somewhere. Where they get kept. So I say that's half the reason behind the site is obviously the trading aspect, but also this trying to build up a database of stuff. You know, there's 2 or 3 other sites doing it, but they're mostly American focused. Don't have so many British or European machines on, which is obviously more our focus really. But we'll put anything on, machine wise, and the same when it comes to the fairground stuff. Obviously the fairground stuff again is going to be mostly UK focused, rides and art and stuff. You know, there's sites in America with lots of American stuff on, especially carousel horses. But if I've got images, I'll still put them up because they're just interesting to look at. So yeah, keep it coming, keep it coming. Yeah, head's missing, the back bumper of your car. Yep. Yeah, or your thumb was a classic one on the thing when you didn't have a proper viewfinder. Yeah, you hold your camera like this, peeking through the little thing, and your finger or your thumb was on the front of the lens because it wasn't a through the lens viewfinder. A throwaway culture. Yeah, we are very much in throwaway culture. Same again with the, coming back to the unfixable machines, isn't it? Yeah, machines, boards go wrong, processors go wrong, can't be fixed, they get thrown away. With the old pinballs and the old Allwins and Bandits or whatever, if a spring breaks, put a new spring in it. If a bolt snaps, put a new bolt in it. It's dead easy to fix, isn't it? Yeah, so how much of this stuff is going to exist in the future? Interesting thought. I won't be around to worry about it too much, but Double exposure ghosts. Oh yeah, they were always fun. Too small to fix now unless you work through a microscope. Yeah, they are tiny, aren't they? These little surface mount components. Yeah, and I've done a few odd. I did actually manage to get an old computer up and running again. Changed all the capacitors on the main board, which I was very proud of myself doing, because all the capacitors were blown. And I sort of looked at a thing online, and I said, well, it might just be the capacitors. Fortunately, none had leaked onto the board. The board looked fine, other than the capacitors. So I bought a mixed pack of capacitors off eBay for about a tenner or something, for 200 or something. Sat there with me solder and iron, replaced them all, plugged it in, didn't expect it to work, and it fired up straight away. So I was very impressed with myself. But yeah, circuit boards now with all little tiny little surface mount things you have to do with tweezers and a microscope. Yeah. Very tricky to do. I'll stick to doing things with springs in. Springs and bits of bent bits of metal. Capacitors seem to be the downfall of many machines. Yeah, I didn't understand what I was doing. I just looked at some stuff online and lots of Big Clive videos. I like Big Clive. Always watch his videos. I don't understand what he's on about most of the time. I just find it interesting. And I thought, well, for the sake of a few pounds worth of capacitors, because there was stuff on the computer I wanted. They've been stored away for a while. Well, it's got to be worth a go. It was one where it was the hard drives wouldn't go in a newer computer; they'd only work in that one. So I had to get the actual motherboard working again to get the computer working, to get the information off the hard drive. And yeah, I was very chuffed that it worked. But any more than that, I don't think I'd have managed. I fixed my washing machine, dishwasher things a few times. That's surprisingly easy to fix, often. With surprisingly cheap bits. Like £3 for a temperature sensor or something that's gone, and the washing machine won't work. You know, new washing machine, 300 quid. And it turns out it's a £3 part. Pop a new one in and it lasted another 5 years. Great. David says, not being very good, I sometimes bring up a photo on my laptop, retake it on the phone, and then send it. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm going to do an upload thing eventually when I get onto the website. The reason I haven't done it is a technical one, because uploading anything directly to web servers, you essentially expose a security risk for people to upload malicious code or something. So it has to be sort of on a different server, quarantined, and it's a bit complicated, antivirus and all that stuff to set up. So that's why I just haven't got around to doing it yet. I will do it. I might do something easy. So if you're on this page, where at the bottom I've got here, report a mistake, and you just click a little thing, and it, you know, if you spot a mistake, you just pull it in, press the button, so I know there's something needs corrected on that page. Or if you've got add some information, you might know what year it's made, stick it in there, press the button. So I might do another button that would say, you know, upload photograph or something. So you just press the button, and like any other upload thing, like when you upload a picture to your eBay sales or something, it will just bring up a search thing on your computer or your phone or whatever to select the picture you've got stored, and it will just upload it straight to the right place. So it's on my jobs list to do. It will get done eventually. Was that somebody texting me? Somebody sent me a picture or something? Oh yes, Adam sent me a picture. Hang on a minute. Arcade photo for future suggestions. Oh, thank you, Adam. Arnold Brothers, probably late 50s. If you want some fair art photos, I can find plenty of those if needed. Yep, we definitely will do in the future. Once I get the fairground up and running, we'll do a lot more fairground and stuff. Oh, that's a rather nice photograph. That's one I've not seen before. Oh, grip tees. The machine on the very right there, I've got one of those. Grip tees. Let's see if I can find you one of those. It's a good fun machine. Strength testing, grip tester, grip tees. There we are. Look at that. How's that? The beauty of this database, you see, this is what this is all about. Look at the picture and instantly find something. That's really nice. I like the design of that. Excellent. It's not one of those where it'd be great to have the actual original photograph and you try and do a high power scan on it and inside the arcade and try and enhance the photograph a bit and see better what's there. It's always so frustrating, but as I say, quite interesting and fun at the same time when you just can't quite see what's there. You're sort of trying to make out, is that a 6 and 6? Piers are the same. The old pictures of photographs of piers, because they're always taken so far out, of course, and you can see there's some machines, a row of machines, or you know, you just can't quite see what they are. But yeah. Yeah, good stuff. Probably late 50s, you're saying? Yeah, difficult to date, isn't it? Looking at the machines, probably, yeah. '40s even, maybe. Don't know. Yeah, I think late 40s, early 50s, I would think. Nice picture. Thanks for that. David, oh, hang on a minute. Things are. Where did I get to? Yeah, capacitors age or leak. Large electronics usually, and smelly. And smelly tantalums, yeah. But I can't find the pictures on the laptop when I start the email. Ah. Yeah, it probably depends where you put the pictures. It'd be hard to find on your computer sometimes, aren't they? Selenium rectifiers smell bad when they go too, yeah. The big motor capacitors as well. Put a big machine on that's not been on for years. All that gunk leaks out of them. Whatever it is. Probably not very good for you. So, yeah. Interesting stuff. Right then. As it's gone 10 o'clock, I think I need a cup of tea desperately. I'm sure you lot probably do too. So, I think we'll convene again Tuesday night, as we would do normally. I'll stick a comment on here for anybody who tunes in late and runs through the comments. Next video, video Tuesday night. No results this week. No results this week. But we'll look at some more photos that have been sent in. I'll pop that in there like that. Yeah, so keep it coming if you've got anything interesting to show us. and especially for things we haven't got pictures of on the site or even haven't got listed on the site, and I'll just make the pages up as we go along, as we need to put the stuff on, and you know, gradually fill in all these gaps we've got. And then, yeah, I'll have a think about, thanks, Copy Herbert, and thanks, David. I'll think about how best to do some kind of arcade page. We could maybe do it with a map, you know, map of the UK, and then drop pins on it as we find arcades, or, you know, zoom into Brighton or whatever, and then any pictures of Brighton. I'll have a think about how to do that best of all. What would be a nice way of doing it? Because just a list, get these, not too easy to you know, find things all the time. If you can do some quick visual, it's easy. A map would be good, wouldn't it? A map of the UK, so you could just zoom into it either on your laptop, or if you're on a phone, just do your zip and then find the spot, and then we can list the arcade as we get a picture of it, and then any further pictures add to it as well. So each arcade would have like a picture, a page rather, with some pictures on. Yeah, perhaps do it by town or something to start with would be logical. Then postcards. I've got a load of postcards of peers somewhere with pictures on. There's my album of postcards with, don't know, somewhere I've got an album of pictures with peers and postcards. And the same with, you know, adding the amusement parks and things as well. Yeah, I like that idea. I'm thinking as I'm going, that's why I'm not saying much and rambling. Right, so there we are. So thank you very much, everyone. Look forward to the next one. Yes, me too. Great night again, night all. I'll chew on that over the next day or two while I'm doing other stuff. I'm planning something that's probably relatively easy to and quick to program, at least to get it going. So I'll see if I can get that up in the next week or so, and, you know, strike while the iron's hot, and then hopefully people, you know, will contribute more stuff as they rummage around their photo albums and things. Dave says possibly like Bombsite does their maps. Oh, I don't know that site. Email me a link to the site and I can have a look at it, and give me some ideas of how to program it. So yeah, just drop me an email or text me or something, a link to the site, and I can have a look at that. Thanks, that's a good idea. Yeah, I think we do it, you know, sort of by a town, and then add in any arcades, piers, amusement parks, or any other kind of interesting thing that fits our bill. Yeah, the circus buildings like at Blackpool and Yarmouth and stuff like that. Be good. It's always nice to see then and now pictures as well, isn't it? You know, if we've got a picture of, you know, arcade, let's say, because we're talking about arcades in the 50s or 60s or whatever, and perhaps get a picture of how it looks now, like Peter did with Corrigan. So we got it here. There's the other picture. Back in the 30s, 38, I think he said this was. Now, and oops, back one. And then 60 something or other. And then I'll try, once I've got the photographs, to, you know, get the most detail out of them as I can, with a bit of photoshopping and a bit of zooming and manipulation, best I can, so we can actually see what's on them. Yeah, good stuff. Like that idea. I will get on the case of that. I shall think on that and make myself some notes now while I have a cup of tea. So thank you all very much. I'll catch up again Tuesday night. Talk yourself into another job again. Yes, I know. I keep doing that, don't I? But it excites me, you see. It's pulling all this information together. As I said before, I've got all this information over for 20 or 30, 35, 40 years. I feel old. That I've accumulated, and I know everybody else has as well. As I've often said, you've all got these bits of information, and it might only be, it seems insignificant because you've just got one picture of an arcade, or you've got one flyer for a machine, or you've got one photo of something, or whatever it is. And that one thing is not in itself particularly significant, but once we put it all together, we put it all on the page about a particular machine, or a particular fairground ride, or a particular circus, or a particular pier, or whatever the hell it may be, once you gather all the information together, that's when it becomes powerful and really interesting. And just like this, seeing several pictures of an arcade over several years, and people say, "Oh yeah, I remember that," and yeah, I remember going to there, and oh, I've got a picture of that because I went there when I was a kid. And they look in their album, and sure enough, they find a picture of it. And that might show us about what that machine is we can't quite make out behind that man there, because they've got a picture taken from a different angle. And so it goes on. So there we are. Right, I'm going before I think of another job to do. So catch you on Tuesday. Thank you very much, everyone. You know where I am. Ping us a message or whatever. And keep up the good work. Nighty night. Have a good one.